Okay, so next we want to award our newly certified guides. We had a test on December 7th. We had 9 more guides pass. That gives us 24 certified guides this year, which is more than we've had with the 3 previous years combined. So it's pretty amazing. So yay for everyone who passed this year. So these are not in any particular order, just the order that I graded them in. So, here, can you help me? Just get the pins out and you can hand them a pin. And if the people, once I give you your certificate and your pin, if you could stay up here, because I want to get a photo. And if anyone else who's certified from earlier this year is here also at the end, come up and we'll do a photo, because I always forget to get a photo of the newly certified guides. So first we have Reed Addis. Yay, Reed, woo! Oh. No. Marie Scarpula. If I say your name wrong, please correct me. Next we have Vance. Is Vance here? Vance Lemcool? No, no Vance. I thought I saw Vance. Does anyone accept for Vance? Tish Byrne. We can't believe Tish wasn't certified earlier, but she just knows everything. Yes. Pat Wynn. Is Pat here? I thought I saw Pat. Yeah, there she is. Yay, Pat. Matthew Palmer. I don't see Matthew. He said he was coming. Maybe he'll be late. So Matthew Palmer. Jonathan. So Jonathan Moreno, he is still, I think he's just coming back from Columbia today or tomorrow. So we'll get him. Dan Bardo. I saw Dan, yep. Yay, Dan. And Wendy Stanley. Yay, Wendy. Okay, so let's give a nice round of applause for all of our newly certified. Now we're going to get a picture. So if any of you who were certified in September or March, if you want to come up, I know Laurel, Lauren, who else is here? Yeah, come up here. We're just going to do a photo with Charlene. Anybody else? Jim. Oh, here's Vance. All right, so here's Vance Lemcool. He just showed up. So people on Zoom, we're just going to do a quick photo. See everybody? And Antoinette, do you want to come up and just do these awards that were left over from the holiday party?
Hi, I'm Antoinette, and we have some awards to hand out. Charlene, she actually is the APT volunteer of 2024. She volunteered for the most things, so thank you very much, as well as best field trip attendance. Is Lena here? Oh, Lena's online, and well, that's appropriate because she got best virtual attendance award, as well as Charlie Kruger. Is he there? Oh, okay. All right. So you're back in the lead, Lena. And Bonita got also best field trip attendance. So I'm handing these back.
Great. So let's have another warm round of applause for all the newly certified and all the holiday award winners, all the volunteers and virtual attendants. Awesome. Okay, so now we're going to do our State of APT. It's kind of like State of the Union, but we talk about APT that we started last year. And it's just kind of review of 2024, what we had planned, what we accomplished, our budget, and then looking forward into 2025. So, yeah, you can go to the next slide. Okay, so this is our agenda. We're going to review the board, talk about our accomplishments in 2024, give our membership summary, budget overview, goals for 25, and then question and answer. So this is our board. So we have 2-year boards. So I'm the president, Marianne Ruane. And then we have our vice president, Mike. You can just kind of wave there, Mike. Mike Tatey, who's our vice president. We have our treasurer, Antoinette, who was just up here. We have our secretary, Pam Covey. Where's Pam? There she is. Pam is back there. And then director at large, Jen Hensel, who was our AV queen here. Director at large, Vince McCafferty. He's back there. And director at large, Jim Murphy, who was just up earlier. Yeah. And I just want to say this is a really amazing board. You'll see how much we got done in 2024. We could not have done it without all of these people on the board. And I have to give a special shout out to Pam, because when we were tallying up for the holiday awards, we did, who attended most of the events between meetings, field trips, book club, how-to workshops, everything. And the highest attendance, even higher than mine, the highest attendance of anything was Pam. I want to give a special, we didn't give holiday awards to board members. So yeah. And really every single member of the board really pulls his or her weight, has volunteered to take on different initiatives and projects. And it's really just been a joy to work with. APT is, yeah. I hear you over there. It was up until December for me, yes. Yeah, so thank you, the board. So let's have a nice round of applause for everyone on the board. So it's all volunteer. Okay. So these are a few of our accomplishments by the numbers. So we had 5 book club meetings, 2 training weekends. Normally we do 1 training weekend in a year, but this year we did 2. We had a February and a November. 24 new certified guides, as I mentioned, which is huge. 11 tour guide coffee breaks hosted by Jim Murphy. So on third Tuesday of the month, he does a coffee break at 10 or 10:30. 10 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, 3rd Tuesdays of the month at the visitor center, just for guides to kind of gather together and get some coffee and chat. So it's been pretty successful. We have 167 new members in our Philadelphia History Meetup group for a total of 1,185 members in our meetup group. I don't know where all those people are when we have meetings, but it's getting the APT name out there, right? And that's where Pam came from and several of our other members. Yeah, so it's worth it. 15 field trips and 12 monthly meetings with 9 outside speakers. So 3 of the meetings had members of APT were the speaker. The next slide. So APT's main goal is to educate and certify city guides. That's our main mission as an association. And this year we trained 162 participants in winter and fall training weekends that included tours, lectures, workshops, and shadowing, of tour guides at other companies. We had our first ever job fair, which was attended by 97 participants, and our first ever step-on bus training. So let's give a hand for the training. It was a big year for training. We certified 24 guides. We raised the percentage of membership that is certified from 33% to 55% with our all guides certified by 25. And there were a number of guides who purchased, we had a promotion for the handbook and certification exam, and a lot of people purchased it who haven't even taken it yet, because you don't have to take it as soon as you purchase it. So that number will go up next year too with the people that purchased but didn't take it yet. And we offered CPR first aid certification training. So in addition, we are here to raise the profile of APT in the tourism community. So we foster relationships with the Philadelphia Visitor Center Corporation, Visit Philly, Philadelphia 250, the Philadelphia Convention and Visitor Bureau, and other groups in the historic district. We engage with the city to maintain certification within the hands of APT. We had a scare back in October where we thought the city might take over certification. Because they did try that years ago, like in, 2008 or something. One of the reasons why APT formed as an association. But they had no intentions of taking it over. They just wanted to make sure that we were okay continuing it. We're like, yeah, we're good, we got it. Yeah, so that was good. For the first time, APT sent a delegate to advocate for tourism in Philadelphia as part of Destination Capitol Hill in Washington, D.C. I'm going to talk about that more at the February meeting. Because it happens in March, and this is the year, if we want to advocate for Independence National Historical Park, this is the time to do it. And we really, really want to get the money for 2026 so that some of these buildings that have been closed can be open, right? So I'll talk about that next month. Hopefully, I'm going to go, well, God willing, I'll be able to go if my dad's all right. And then, hopefully we'll get a few more of you that also want to come. We collaborated with guide associations in DC and New York City for information exchange and a workshop on sustainable tourism. Vance, actually, one of our, where'd he go? Oh, there he is. Vance, one of our newly certified members, was a speaker for this workshop, which was great. It's still on our YouTube channel, so you guys can check it out if you're interested in sustainable tourism. We developed a neighborhood trivia game and facilitated it at a Philadelphia 250 kickoff event. And this really goes to show, I remember a few years ago, I think when we were planning the symposium, somebody, maybe it was Rich, I'm not sure, but somebody was saying, we should be the go-to organization in the city for history, for tours, for anything. And look, Philadelphia 50 had an event and they came to us. Like, we need this trivia game. APT, can you do this? And it was a lot of work, right? It was a lot of work. And we went and volunteered at the event, but it was really worthwhile and really fun and really got us a lot of brownie points with Philadelphia 250. So the board is here to ensure the continued longevity of APT by building on past board accomplishments and setting up APT for long-term success. So this is really just getting our ducks in a row as a professional association. So we researched and secured new D&O insurance as well as general liability insurance. We subsidized 15 APT members to attend the NFTGA conference. That's next week already. It seems like we were talking about it. Was it 2 weeks? Oh, I'm already. Next week's my doctor's appointment with the dad, and then the conference. Yeah, so that's a big event. Expanded the weekly newsletter and added a twice monthly e-blast of events around town. And we did an entire year of problem-free hybrid in-person and Zoom meetings. So thank you, AV team. And if we could have Jen and Todd stand, so we can give them a big round of applause. Take a bow. Yes, thank you. Seriously, it's been literally a year and a half. I don't know. It's been a long time working out all the kinks so that we can really do these hassle-free meetings. So we're hugely appreciative to them here every month. It's great. So I'm really, really appreciative to them. Next, we are here to create a welcoming environment and a sense of community. So we increased both individual and corporate membership. So from 23 to 24, we increased in both categories. We created a Facebook group to encourage APT members to post, participate, and engage. We created a new members-only resource section on the website, which Alex and Jim Murphy did. If you could just raise your hands. They did a huge amount of work on that, so I want to give them their due. Created a study group to prepare for Homecoming 250 tours. So Antoinette's been heading that up. If any of you, want to get in on it, I don't know if we'll talk at the end about our committee and groups. And if you want to try and get in on that because you're new and you didn't know about it, we can talk about that at the end. But if you don't know, the anniversary of the founding of the Navy and Marine Corps will be this October, 2025. So we're planning on there's going to be a lot of people coming to Philadelphia to participate in all these homecoming events. And so we want to have a lot of tours ready for them when they get here. Our APT YouTube channel posted 16 new public videos with 839 views and 9 new unlisted videos with 113 views. And our older videos continue to receive views as well. So again, raising the profile of APT, people, find these videos, know about us, what's APT, they get to learn who we are. And then the little sad part. So Tony and Bob Levitt have moved to State College. They want to be closer to their kids. Tony's son lives out at State College, or their son. And so we just want to wish them well and, know all the best for them. And I'll put in the newsletter, I'm asking for her address so that if you want to send a card or anything, you can mail that to her. And then in memoriam, Nick Svekovic and Josh Silver, who we lost this year. So maybe we'll just take a minute of silence for them. Huge, huge losses for APT. Next slide. And Antoinette is going to come up and talk about our financials.
Hello again. So I just wanted to first start with our membership and how our membership is growing in terms of both corporate and individual members. So we went from 148 to 180. That is what we reported to the NFTGA in terms of our membership. And to date, we have 161 members signed up for 2025, and we anticipate getting to about 35 corporate members and 160 individual members. And this is important. Go to next slide. Because we have to put our budget together. And really, without knowing what our membership is going to be, it's hard to put a budget together. So, and what we want to do is start out with very conservative but achievable numbers. So very conservative, going low on the income side, and then making sure our expenses match that. So having that early bird registration, thank you for everyone that's already registered. That really helped us put that budget together. And so because what we also want to do is make sure that our budget is about that our expenses are 10 to 15% lower than our income so that we can continue to build reserves for the future. So for example, if we really want to do an investment in a new website or better, database technology, to keep track of what hopefully is going to be well over 200 members in the future. Because right now it's all right in Google Sheets. It's fine, it works, but you know it could be a little bit more streamlined. So that's really what we are intending to do. So next slide. So, but we had some expenses this year that were one-time expenses that we didn't quite get to that 10 to 15% reserve. So one of them actually did help our reserve, which was we had 2 training sessions. And so the one that was in the wintertime actually generated a pretty healthy profit. And then the step-on bus training, you know, it's a little bit more expensive. And so we didn't quite break even on that, but overall, between the 2 training sessions, we did have a profit of over $1,700. But we also had to, you know, order new lanyards, and you can't just order lanyards for 1 year. You got to order it for 3. It's a $20,000 budget. We're not going to accrue expenses over and depreciate it. So, you know, we took the hit this year. Same thing with the certification pins. You know, you got to get so many and go for it. And then also because the NFTGA meeting is in Philadelphia this year, we wanted everyone to be able to take it, or a lot of people to be able to take advantage of that. And so we had a pretty healthy subsidy that we actually did divide over 15 people eventually. So all of those things, you know, we didn't quite get to our reserve, but next slide. We actually still made a profit. There was $1,400 and change in profit because we had a total actual income of over $22,000, and we spent a little over $21,000. So this year, though, for the budget, we're looking at a budget and an income of a little bit closer to $15,000 because I don't have any training in there yet. And we have a total expenses of about $13,000. So that is keeping within our 10 to 14% range of profit that we can put towards reserves. And so I'm showing all this detail. I'm not expecting everybody to remember this, but in our members only section, there is going to be a treasurer's report every month. And this budget by month is going to be shown. So you can always go there and look at the budget and see how we're doing. Next slide. So overall, we're actually in pretty good shape. When I took over as treasurer in January, we had about $14,000 in the bank. Our highest was actually December at 16,000, but that's a little inflated because $2,300 of that was guide insurance that I just, you know, took in and sent right back out to NFTGA. So I took the balance that is as of today, which is it's close to $14,000. So still we've got nice cash flow, and you know, we're not in jeopardy of bouncing any checks. All right, next slide. Oh, so maybe you can go back. We'll let Marianne do this last one. Yeah. So does anyone have any questions about the budget? No? Okay. Yes, Mike. No. I actually didn't give the number for pins. The overall expenses for last year were $22,000. Yeah. So we have a lot of nice pins. And so those are expenses we won't see again next year or for many years.
Right. So our goals for 2025, probably need to move this a little so I can see. Okay. I don't know, I feel like it worked last time. All right. So we're going to release an updated handbook. And again, when we're all done with this presentation, we're going to talk about, well, we'll get feedback from all of you of last year and ideas you have for the next year. And we want to talk about the different committees and where we need help on things. And one of the things is the handbook. So we'll talk about that at the end. But we do plan to have our updated handbook to be released sometime this summer. We have the Homecoming 250 tours that I mentioned that will be in the fall. Continue to collaborate with the Philadelphia Visitor Center Corporation, Visit Philly, Philadelphia 250, the Philadelphia Convention and Visitor Bureau, and other historic district groups to prepare for the semi-quincentennial. Fall training program with a step-on bus component. So we're not planning to do it all step-on bus training. Like last November, we concentrated with step-on bus training for the 3 days or whatever it was. But this time we'll do a more general training, but we will have some kind of step-on bus component in there. We don't know yet what that'll look like, but something. Create additional social media channels and branding. Develop and implement mentorship plan for college students to attract young people to the field of guiding and give them support as they start out. So we actually have a meeting. We had a meeting in December to kind of brainstorm about this mentorship program, and we'll have the next one, I think January 27th. I put it in the last newsletter. We'll have another meeting to kind of start really honing down and getting this program. Our intention is to unroll it in June. So when college kids are finishing up their semesters and they'll have the summer free, and we'll be ready to take on some interns or mentees and get some mentors. And then plan for a job fair in early 2026. So these are our goals, kind of things we have planned for the year. And was there anything else? Oh, is there another slide? That's the last slide. No, question answers. Okay. So any first questions on anything that we talked about in the PowerPoint presentation? Guys might be like, oh, don't hear me. The mic is narrow point. So please, I know it's tedious. Please use it with that. So Jen just made a little pitch so you Zoom people know what's going on so that people use the mic and you guys on Zoom can hear us. Anybody have anything about the PowerPoint? Any questions, concerns, comments, anything? No? No? Okay. How about anything? We'll just have a little bit. What time are we at? Oh, is that you? Yeah, we have time. So we'll just have a little bit of an open discussion. If anybody, Pam, I don't know, do you have a notebook or anything with you? You just jot down. And we don't have Lois here. Do you want to jot down for Stevens? Do you have a notebook there? Just if anybody has ideas for this year, you just jot down and then just share it with me at the end.
Just a general comment. Good Monday for those who don't know me, and I'm I'm not a new member, but just got a certificate. So, but I've been on nonprofit boards for about the last 20 years, and I've never been impressed by a board more than this one. I think what you guys have done in the last year is just remarkable, amazing, spectacular, and hats off to all of you because I think you're doing a great, great job. So, congratulations and keep it up.
Anybody else? And it doesn't have to just be comments, but if you have ideas for 2025, direction you'd like to see us go in, even if you think it's crazy, not practical at all, any ideas at all are welcome. Anything you want to, even a field trip or a book for the book club, anything. And you can always email any of us on the board as well at any time with your suggestions too.
There's two things I know that I had always wanted to implement, and we never got around to it, but continuing education, because you get certified as a guide, but we don't have anything in place to keep that certification. And a lot of other associations do that. And the other thing is that we used to have a master guide program that if you scored 100 or more on the exam, you automatically were eligible, along with a lot of other requirements, but you were eligible to get what we called a master guide certification. So I didn't know if you had any thoughts about implementing that or rediscovering that, because we needed a lot of work on that.
Yeah.
So
we don't have anything currently, but yeah, we're writing all these down. Steven's writing them down for us, and we'll keep them on the back burner for sure.
So, thank you. I wanted to ask you, what kind of social media are you going to be exploring? Do you have an Instagram yet? And also on YouTube, are you doing short form of contents, so short videos?
No, so I can say about the YouTube channel is at these meetings, we generally have a speaker who talks for about 45 minutes and then 15 minutes question and answer. And those talks we put up on YouTube. So that's what the bulk of it is, but so they're longer form. And then maybe Jen, do you want to, since you're right here on the mic, waiting to do that for 2 years.
So we're rebranding all of our social media, partly some internal things that we don't have access to our previous. So we are doing Instagram. We have a Facebook group. We're redoing a Facebook page. We're looking into Threads and many other. I was going to look at TikTok, but who knows what's going to happen on the 19th. So we're looking at everything except for X. We are not looking at X. We have chosen just not to go that route, but we are looking for others. And with that said, we would also appreciate help with content. Hint, hint.
Jen is known for her subtlety. Yeah. And how about Charlene?
Yeah, I'd like to make a suggestion that sometime we have a session on guiding in extreme weather. Yeah, so extreme heat, extreme cold, rain, and snow. I would love to hear from the really experienced guides very specifically, like where can you stand in Elford's Alley to be out of the rain, that sort of thing. I would just really love as a field trip or a training workshop.
Oh, great idea. Someone said bring an umbrella. That's very helpful. Wait, so I'm going to interrupt questions for a second because one of our newly certified guides arrived. So this is Matthew Palmer, one of our newly certified guides. Let's give him a round of applause. Cool. Anyone else? Any other ideas? It can be crazy, just brainstorming, whatever you think. No, we're all good. Jen? No worries.
I know it came up when we did the panel discussion with the bus and has come up about the different roles and type of guiding, be it like step on guide, hop on, hop off, tour directing, tour escorting, like all the different types and the differences and the roles of them. I know I fielded a few questions, and I know that was a question that came up at the panel discussion. So I don't know if that's something.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah, we've been thinking about that for a while. Harris?
With the Homecoming 250 and the Navy and the Marine Corps and so forth, I don't know if you would want to connect it or not, but connected with all of that, I think, would be the seaplane base that had been at Essington, which was one of, if not the first, it was the second. It was down by the Lazaretto House where you toured, and on the waterfront there. And a gentleman who worked there for many years, Walt Ellis, is a member of the Aero Club of PA. He's done a presentation in different places, but he was one of the pilots that flew from their landing spot down here. They had flights from that air, not from the seaplane base in when it was training military pilots, but he's very acquainted with the history of it, and he's the one who had all the artifacts taken to the museum over in New Jersey. But he could, if you were interested in that background, to add to the tours of the Homecoming 250 for the Navy and the Marine Corps. I'm sure he would be glad to come and speak to the group here at some point.
Cool. Can you email me that info?
Yes.
And I'll send it to Mike,
Sure
and
will.
I'll see what. Yeah, that's a great idea.
With respect to the different types of guiding that Jen mentioned, I'm wondering if it might be worth including a glossary of the different kinds of guides and tours into the handbook. So yeah, the business of guiding. Okay, so we already have a glossary, or maybe yeah, maybe we can expand that. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
And there's going to be a sheet coming around. I just realized Lois isn't here. She was used to do attendance. You didn't have an attendance sheet, did you, Antoinette? So I grabbed this sheet from Stephen, who brought his notebook. Thank you, Stephen. But it's coming around. So by the end of the evening, if you don't sign it, make sure you find it and sign it. You just sign your name, just your name. Yeah. Just so we can see who's here. Anyone else? No other ideas? These have been great ideas. Thank you, guys. All right. So what we're going to talk about next is committees. So we have a number of committees, and it can be as much work or as little work as you want. You know, you can kind of see how much you want to do in it, but the more people we get to help even a little bit, then more things get done, right? So it's not just the board doing everything. And we've had some, you know, we had Charlene, one of our volunteer work, and she's been on a number of committees. So all the help you give us really helps. So actually, we're going to have Charlene come up first, and she's going to talk just a little bit about the handbook committee and what they do and what they need help with. And if anyone's interested, we didn't really, I guess, if you look on the website, we have all the board members and our email addresses. So you can email any one of us. Mike is the head for the handbook committee. So if you're interested in that, you can contact Mike Tatey. He's vice president at phillyguides.org. But Charlene is a member of the committee, and she's been super active with it. So she's going to talk a little about it.
Yeah. Hi. We've been working on the latest revision for about 7 or 8 months on the handbook, and there's a number of members involved, including Jim Murphy, Alex, now Wendy, Laurel, and am I leaving anybody out? Lauren, yes, Lauren McKinney. And partway through the work, Charlene joined us and brought up the topic of a diversity review. And Charlene can discuss the work that she's doing with the diversity review and how helpful that has been.
Happy New Year, everybody. So I took the certification exam back in the spring. And as I was studying, I had my handbook, but I was also looking up websites and noticing that a lot of our sites in Philadelphia have really stepped up their game, particularly with regard to African-American history, but also in other ways. And the handbook hadn't quite caught up with that yet. So I had the bright idea to suggest the diversity review. I have to say, first of all, I think the handbook is such an achievement the way it is. Before I knew most of you, Ed Major brought me proudly his first production of the handbook many years ago, and I've admired it ever since then, and all of you have contributed to it. So this diversity review is more of an enhancement of what's already there. It's not taking out things that had been there in the past. So what I've sort of been scanning for are opportunities to pay more attention to race, class, gender, ethnicity, all the big categories going through. And in some cases, it's just a matter of tweaking a word, you know, so that it's clear that both men and women were working in trades on Elfreth's Alley, you know, something like that. In some cases, it's broadening scope a little bit so that in terms of, say, a historic church or a cemetery, that yes, there are famous people who attended there or who are buried there, but there's also more of a population that's there. So just little phrases can do that. In some cases, we've added some bullet items. I keep thinking about churches because that was the hardest thing for me to study, especially in the Old City and Society Hill district. But, you know, we always mention the architects, but if you also mention who worked on the interiors, you have like Italian artists and sculptors. So that adds another layer to that. So we've added some bullet items. In some cases, we have added some new sites, not a ton because we're trying not to add too many new pages, but here and there. Once you get outside the historic district and Society Hill, there are fewer churches, for example, that lend a lot of the story of diversity of the neighborhood. So there are more of those and some monuments, things like that, that tell a broader story. And we have added, I think, just one new section, which is North Broad Street, because we had Avenue of the Arts, you know, but that's really a particular segment that doesn't tell as much of the story of Philadelphia as we could. So we're doing North Broad Street and taking in the additional performance venues of North Broad, the African American history sites, the Jewish American history sites, and more that you get when you go up North Broad Street. So all of this is just to enhance, I think, what's already there and to really bring us up into step with what our historic sites have been doing on their own. And by the way, I just noticed this week that Art Street Friends Meeting House just got a new grant from the NEH to pay more attention to Black Friends meeting activity. So we'll be learning more and more. And I think with each issue of the handbook, we'll learn more. So thanks for the opportunity of pitching in. And I hope you like the way this turns out. And as Mike says, we could use some more help, right, Mike? Yeah.
Help Vance recently. Yeah, we definitely need more help. Anyone that's interested in helping with editing, we're planning to make a cover. So any ideas? We do need those lapel pins. Can we get those on the budget? Can we just ask everybody now? Why don't we just do the lapel pins? So yes, lapel pins, but we do need as much help as we can get on the committee. Anybody that's interested in helping in any way. And we do plan to create a cover. So if you have any bright ideas, anybody interested in graphic design, that is something we want to complete the book with this year.
Okay, so we have a suggestion from Zoom comment. So yeah, you can go ahead and do that, Jen.
Sorry, passing this on from the earlier discussion. It just came in. It's from Marianne. Perhaps a training on how to adapt your tour for various age groups. Middle schoolers are not the same as high school or adult.
Cool. Got that, Stephen? He's on it. He's our secretary for tonight. So Mike, as long as you're up here, why don't you also mention Homecoming 250?
Do we all remember George Leone from last May, who's organizing the birthday celebration for the Navy, October 13th, and the Marines, November 10 of 1775. They're coming very soon. Every time I see a number that it's larger, they're expecting several 100,000 people to be here October, November. It's a formal 10-day celebration. And Jen has generously queued up a 2-minute segment. So pay attention to this 2-minute segment. And we'll see what George needs from us. And we are putting together a landing page on our website that'll direct traffic from George's website to APT members to offer tours. Are you ready?
Used for a good purpose. Here, this history is being used to put Philadelphia in the national spotlight. And no matter what Philadelphia does on July 4th, which I hope will be spectacular, but I'm not in charge of it. No matter what they do on July 4th, they are going to be competing with New York, which will have 30 tall ships in the harbor. They're going to be competing with Boston and Washington and all the other cities. And what people always do on July 4th, it's going to be, I'm sure there'll be plenty of business for you folks, but this is an event that'll happen before anybody gets tired of the semi-quincentennial, when it's the biggest event that's happened yet, and really the biggest event at that time. So this is going to get national attention to Philadelphia and hopefully positive publicity for a city and an area that needs it. So I hope that you can help me by building tours and thinking of how you can make this happen, make people who come here are interested in the Navy Marines have things to see that they're interested in, and get your other tourists. This is a special plea for me. Get your tourists that are coming now interested in coming back for this event, because we want this to be a great event for the city. And now I've definitely used up my time. Thank you for your patience. Really appreciate it.
So you heard from George what he needs. And what he offered us is on their website, homecoming250.org, and it's the number 250.org, homecoming250.org. They have a planning page. He will link that to our APT landing page, and we will put on there, all of our members, will put our existing member directory there. We'll put our corporate page linked on there, and then any members or any member companies that are going to do what George asked and offer some military specific, Navy specific, or Marine specific tours, or if you augment your existing tours with information on the history of the Navy and Marines, we can put that on this page, and potentially people that are planning their trip this fall will find you. People that are going to come here to Philadelphia in the fall, they're already planning their trip, they're already booking, so we need to get moving on that. And there are several people, several members that are already creating tours and are ready to go. I know, just looking out, I'm being prompted by names, but Judy Smith has a Navy Yard tour. She's one. We like to pick on Judy because she's right here. Bill Benkert is another. Robert Marissa, did I get him? The magic guy? Yes. He's working with others. Phage, recently I talked to. So many people are reaching out, and there's a lot of stories to tell here. Ton Tavern, especially. The Marines are coming here. Many of you may have met one of our newer members. She's not here tonight, Diana Pope. She herself is a family historian. She is a direct descendant, fourth great granddaughter of Samuel Nicholas. She's also a member of the Gray family, the Lloyd family, and she's been a rich resource of information. She's a Quaker. She wrote a paper about 116 pages that I have on Samuel Nicholas, all sorts of facts. And I wish she was here tonight to speak to that, but she'll be back. I'm sure she might even be on the Zoom. How many people are on Zoom tonight, by the way? A dozen, and there's 42 people here. That's a lot. 50 some is a good group. So that's all I have.
Oh, she was asking if Diana could do a presentation about her family for one of our meetings. But Mike's already got all the meetings planned out for the year. There's like 2 openings. He's working it, but we'll figure it out. All right. So we did handbook, we did Homecoming 250. We need help with the newsletter. So if anybody would like to work on the newsletter, if anyone would like to learn AV, we have Jen and Todd, but if Jen and Todd are not able to come, then we don't have AV. So it'd be nice to have 1 or 2 other people who would, it's really not that hard. Well, I don't know how to do it, but I don't think it's that hard. It's just, it's not hard as long as everything works. I really don't know if it's hard or not. We used to have a DEI committee, but with the person who headed it up, isn't on the board anymore, and it kind of fell away. But if anybody would like to resurrect that, we would be happy to help with that, have help with that. Advocacy, I know Jim Murphy and Ralph Morano did a lot last year, kind of working on ways we could advocate for the park, get some more money for the park with, with the city, with the state on the federal level. So we need more people to help with that if you're interested in that. Alex helps me with the website, but we could use more help with the website if anyone wants to learn. I kind of taught myself, so I don't really know just kind of the basics, but I know enough to get the stuff changed that we need on the site. So if anybody else wants to learn, we'd be happy to show you guys that. Social media, Jen had mentioned, when she answered the question, we're looking for people that want not only to set up these social media sites, but then to, kind of maintain them and post content. And even the Facebook group, you don't have to be a moderator. Anybody who's, a member of the Facebook group can post. So please feel free, if you're a member. If you're not a member, if you're on Facebook, go in Facebook group. What is it? The official, so I think it's the official Association of Philadelphia Tour Guides. Don't get confused by the other one. That's not us. So social media also, Vince had a wonderful idea that we should have a committee, like a social committee. We last year we did happy hours before the meetings. We were kind of hoping to bring in new people and get them acquainted with people and get them to stay, but it was kind of just the same 5 or 6 people coming every month, so it didn't really have the end result that we wanted. So we're thinking maybe if we had like a picnic in the summer, maybe a party in the fall. I have a lot of books from the Levitts. So we thought maybe we could have a big book sale. They have all these history books. So we can get together in a place with all the books and we could have refreshments and, you know, maybe like on a cold Saturday or Sunday and just kind of hang out. And so something like that. So we'll have a committee on that. And we want to thank Lois. Is Lois on Zoom tonight? Yay. Thank you, Lois, for hosting all the happy hours last year. Most of them anyway. She was there for most of them. Yay, Lois. We're clapping for you, Lois. And then events. Mike heads up the events committee, but anyone, even if you don't want to be on a committee to do events, if you have one idea like, hey, why don't we go to the Harridan House? You can suggest that and help Mike set it up. So, you know, we're welcome for ideas. We're welcome to people. We want to empower you to kind of, you know, take an initiative and run with it and do it. So, and any ideas you have, please share them with us. And I think that's it. And then mentorship. I mentioned that we're trying to do this mentorship program, and our next meeting will be January 27th. You can come to the meeting even if you weren't at the last meeting. That's fine. And if you just want to come once and share your ideas or hear about it, that's fine. But that'll be January 27th. And any questions, comments on committees? Alex? Oh, can we get the mic? I'm going to change his name to Mike.
So if there are any authors here, we have on the members only site authors among the members here, and we try to put the books up. And if you know you check it out and you don't see your name there and you've written a book, let us know. Also photos are really hard to get and you don't normally think about it, but if you think maybe, oh, this would be a really great photo that we could put on the website, that'd be great, so that we can switch out the photos. We have beautiful photos there, but I think they're a couple years old. And then we also do information about different members. I know there's one on Rich and a couple other people. So, you know, we can, if you want to give us a little history, we can put your picture up there and put it on the members only.
Yeah, and on photographs, most of the photos that are on our, we have them on a Google Drive, and I'll share the links, whenever we have a field trip or an event, I share the links to the photos in the newsletter. I'm not going to be able to be at as many events this year as I was last year. So anyone, if you're at a field trip, you're at a meeting, please take photos and send them to me. Especially if you're good at taking photos. Some people are not good at taking photos, but some people are. I know Pam's been great. She takes great photos. But anyone else, and if you even want to be like the APT photographer, just let me know. I'd be happy to kind of give you a designation if that's something that you need or want. But yeah, so because it's nice for the newsletter to have photos. It helps build community and let us get to know each other. And I'm just not going to be around as much for the physical events this year, at least for the next couple months. Mike has something to say.
I forgot to mention Jim Murphy's a part of the handbook, of course.
Thank you.
Of course.
Here, Ernest has something.
We haven't welcomed our first time attendance people.
Yes, that was my next thing. Yeah. Anyone else? Anything about committees or ideas or anything? No, wait, Jim has something first. And then, yeah, we're going to have some of the new members introduce themselves. I know that Mike is.
This is about Homecoming 250. Gloria Day has George Leone. I have to look at my calendar, but I think it's February. I'm sorry. I think it's February 13th. For anybody who missed him before, he's going to be updating us on what's going on. So I just wanted to mention that.
Yeah, and thank you, Jim. And another, if you're interested in creating a tour for Homecoming 250, sort of a naval marine themed tour, George Leone spoke to us in, May of 23? Oh, is it 24? This past May? Wow, feels like it was longer. And he did an excellent presentation that pretty much covered every single element of the naval marine history in Philadelphia. And it's up on our YouTube channel. So watch it to get ideas for your, it's a great starting place for your tour, for what you want to cover. Karis.
Apparently I am cashed in to the illegitimate tour guide link, and there's no link on the APT website for the Facebook that I can find. So can there be put onto the?
Yeah, I'll show you. It's there.
It's there. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I'll show you where it is. No worries. Oh, and Karis had something she wanted to share about a resource. So why don't you come up here at the mic and do it?
The muster roll committee at Valley Forge Park has an online database of nearly 30,000 individuals who have been documented to have been at Valley Forge during the encampment, no matter whether they were a soldier, someone along with their husband, or a diplomat, or a community leader, or someone bringing supplies. But anyway, another part, the gentleman, Frank Rasavi, was the one who began putting this database online in the 1990s. He's no longer living, but the muster roll committee has just revised and updated a great work that he did. And on my way to come here, it occurred to me, this would be a great resource for tour guides, for people who are interested in all the 250 anniversaries that are coming up. He prepared a chronology of the entire American Revolution from the 60s through and beyond the signing of the peace treaty. Has a lot of information on the Navy in the back about the particular ships and captains and so forth. And it's not just dates. He will give like a date with a quote from a letter of John Adams to Abigail that's pertinent to something. Has all the events from, not all, but significant events from Congress interspersed throughout, things from the journal of someone who was with the Army there. So this is not just Valley Forge. This is from the entire American Rev War. So you have a chronology of all the events as they're passing by on their 250th anniversaries. So you have in March, the 250th anniversary of the Patrick Henry's Liberty or Death speech. Coming up this April, the shots at Lexington and Concord. In May, you have the Second Continental Congress. In June, you have the organization of the Army, Washington's election as the commander-in-chief, and then all those things unfold on through the rest of the year. So if you're interested, I would recommend this as a great resource, and it is available online through the Valley Forge Muster Roll. There's a little shop on that website, and you can go there and search for anybody and find out if they were at Valley Forge. Thank you.
Yeah, so it'd be cool if you're doing a tour in March and you could look there and be like, oh, did you guys know 250 years ago, this happened? So I think that's a great resource. Thank you, Karis. Yes, can you email me or take a picture of it or something, Karis, and then maybe we'll get a picture before I leave. Yeah, so anything else? Anybody else have announcements or anything they want to share, like Karis did, Judy? Whichever you want. Do you want the mic or come up? Todd's going to make you walk.
So I just wanted to let everyone know there's 5 seats left on the bus to Valley Forge on February 1st. So this is part of the post-tour offerings from the NFTGA conference. And it's all closed down. We can't take any more registrations or whatever, but I do have 5 seats on the bus on Saturday. So we'll just, if anyone's interested, just let me know, email me, or, and you'll pay that day. It's $75. It includes the bus out there. Sheila McLaughlin is going to be our guide out there. And then we have lunch at the Black Powder Tavern. So it's all part of that $75. So I just want to let you guys know if anybody hasn't been out to Valley Forge in a while, it's a good opportunity.
Anything else? Anybody else? Sure. Jen has an announcement.
Little shameless plug for some of you who know I am a Philadelphia mummer. Yes, I am one of them. I'm part of Golden Sunrise. We are the last of the entire category of fancies. Like, we're the only one. A lot of people know Fancy Brigades. They grew out of my category. We are having a banquet February 8th. Tickets are $50. It includes food, beer, wine, sodas, water. It's in the Mummers Museum. So you get to hang out with a bunch of quirky, because we like to joke we're like the art crafts nerds of the mummer world in the Mummers Museum. If you're interested, message me. I will give you information. I would love to see you there because proceeds also help my club because we're like the little club that somehow manages to survive, like by the skin of our teeth. So come support. You know, we're family friendly. Everyone looks the same under sequins and feathers. Not one of the mummers that gets the bad rap.
Anybody else? Stephen? Yeah, of course.
Hi, I'm Steve Barron. I'm giving a talk with the Preservation Alliance about Side Hill Towers at 60. And that's on Tuesday, February 18th. So zoom in, it's on virtual, and there's details on Preservation Alliance website.
Yeah, and if you look at the newsletter, we've been announcing it with the I think it's in the Things Around Town newsletter, but the Preservation Alliance gives us a discount so we can enroll at the same price as a Preservation Alliance member. And I don't think you have to do anything special. You just say you're a Preservation Alliance member. It says anyway on the newsletter what to do. But yeah, our own Steve Barron is talking. It's very exciting. Anyone else? Any more plugs? No? All right. So I thought we have a number of new faces here today. So we thought we'd give anyone who's new, who's comfortable. And I mean, if you're not comfortable coming up and standing at the mic in front of a group of people, I'm just saying, you might be in the wrong group. But anyway, if there's one thing we generally all like to do, it's talk in front of a group. But so maybe we'll start on this side. Do you want to come up? We haven't met you yet, so welcome.
Hello, my name is Constance. Thank you. I feel a little bit like an imposter because I'm not part of the organization and I've never been a tour guide, but I've always wanted to be. So I thought I would check it out and I like it. So thank you.
So how did you hear about us? Go ahead.
How I heard about you guys is I looked up tour guides in Philadelphia and you were very easy to find. And so I added you to my notes and I've been looking forward to this meeting for a few weeks. So it was somewhat intentional.
Well, welcome. We have a little, oh, I should say this little table over here is things you can take. So anything on there is just sort of freebie things you can take. And if you are a member, well, there's a QR code up there. So you could even sign up tonight if you like. But if you're a new member, we do have some lanyards here, these blue lanyards on the table. So if you're new and you don't have one, please take one before you leave. I only bring a couple every meeting, but I'll bring them, every month. So let's see. How about you? I haven't met you yet, I don't think. So come on and say hello.
Hi, you're in a great group. I'm so glad to be a part of it for the first time. And that's because of you're the secretary. No, I'm not, Pam. Pam, there you are. Yes, she recruited me.
I'm talking to Mike. What's your name?
I'm Joanna Ward, and I returned to my condo at One Independence Place when I retired and relocated December of 2019, just before the pandemic hit, when I gutted my place and lived 8 months without countertops. But it's together now, and I'm more together now. And so I thought, when I retired on the Gulf Coast, I'm from Pennsylvania, born in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania. My great aunt's house. Ooh. Oh, okay. So I'm back in my native state, and I never knew that Philadelphia was. I always feel so. Everybody's so friendly and nice, and I tell everybody it's the city of brotherly love. And Pam told me Independence. I'm almost done in the last chapters, and now I Benjamin Franklin. I'm learning so much. And when I retired down the Gulf Coast, I started reading our forefathers. And I started with Washington. That was the hardest one, but I learned a lot about him. And then the next one was John Adams, of course, and Abigail. And that was wonderful to read. And then the third one was Jefferson, the power of, oh, that was interesting.
This is a book club person, Pam.
Oh, I can't help myself. I just get so, and so anyway, then didn't get to Madison until I learned about him. I had no idea he was like short and not so attractive, because you think he's so powerful, because when you read about him with Jefferson, how he, you know, how Jefferson got the others to do his dirty work, you know. And then I went from that I kind of didn't get to Madison because I went to the Hemmingses at Monticello. And then, so it was just, anyway, I'm here now and I'm so glad to be with you.
Glad to have you. Thank you for coming. Yes. And Kyle Jenks is one of our new corporate members, and he does first person interpretation of James Madison. And he's giving a walking tour at the end of January where he'll be in character as James Madison giving a tour. So you must go. That would be, you will love that. Yeah. It'll be in the newsletter. So let's see who else. Anyone in the back? Can't see as far in the back. I don't think. Pat, do you want to come up and say hello? Have you ever come up? You think you have? Okay. She thinks she has. Okay. How about you back there with the blue scarf? I don't think I've met you before. It's that bright scarf.
My name's Peter, and I live on Spruce. I've been in the States for 4 years. I came over actually with my wife to build a business, which we've now left, but we decided to stay. And so I'm developing a new portfolio of work. And one of the things I want to do is to lead tours around the old city, because I'm particularly interested in the history of Philly. Spent a lot of time over the last 4 years learning about it and visiting all over the east, up and down the East Coast. And among the other things, I just written a book called Brits Who Shaped America. After the revolution, because they don't get much credit for it, funnily enough. People like James Smithson and Richard Cobden and Charles Dickens, Florence Nightingale, Oscar Wilde, Samuel, what's his name? God, I've forgotten his name now. Samuel, who was the father of the American Industrial Revolution. So all those people, so they're in my book. And I've actually been very slow about promoting it. So this is probably the most public thing I've done to promote the book since September when it was launched. But that's not the reason for my being here. I'm here because I want to. I've been recommended to the APT, and I will probably may join as a corporate member through We Ventures, but to be decided.
Have you met Andy?
Yes, I have. Yeah. Andy Maunder.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Let's see. Walker. Well, I'm going to say Walker. Do you want to say a word since you haven't been in a while? You want to say a few words and just? Okay, I was going to say hello from back there. Right. So Walker Brown, he's been a member on and off for a long time, but he's sort of hasn't been to a meeting in a while. All right, thank you. His pumpkin chariot's waiting outside. Let's see. Reed, do you want to say anything? You don't come to a lot of meetings. You're good? Reed's good? Okay. Okay, so that's all you guys. How about Laurel? Have you ever come up to say hello to anybody? You think you did? Okay. How about, would you like to come, Stephen?
Hello, everyone. So my name is Stephen. I am actually a Delco person. I'm from Havertown. And we know a Delco person, excellent. And I've always been in love with Philadelphia history. I've actually went to LaSalle University, got a master's degree in history, so I've really been steeped in this for a long time. I know so many people actually from here. I actually know Mike. I work at Harriton House, which is in Bryn Mawr, right outside of Montgomery County. If you don't know about Harriton House, it's actually the home of Charles Thompson. He was the secretary to the Continental Congress. If you're interested, come on down on Friday or Saturday, give us a call, and I'd be happy to give you a tour. I'm kind of one of the main tour guides there. But Mike came by a bunch of times. He's very fascinated with Charles Thompson, and I was blown away by his knowledge. And he told me about you guys, and I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I think this would be really great to do for 2020, the 250th anniversary. I also do first person interpretation stuff. So it would be great to somehow mix this all together. And you seem like a very enthusiastic and a great group to be a part of. So I also know Alex Palma here. I know he's a member, and Majul. So I'm like, all right, I know a bunch of people, and it seems like a great group. So I'm excited to be a part and really go forward with all you. So thank you very much. Yes, yeah, yes, I've been to one of them. Yeah.
All right. How about Wendy? Have you coming up to say anything to the group? I feel like Wendy's not a new member because she's attended every event since she's become a member.
So I joined in October. My name is Wendy Stanley. I spent 25 years in corporate communications, and then went back and did a master's degree with Steve as a colleague in public history. And along the way, I wrote two novels set in colonial Philadelphia. I also raised a special needs child and a gifted child, so nothing scares me. Our family jokes that we're always a circus wherever we are. And I'm really thrilled to be here. Really love Philadelphia. I just moved here with my husband at the end of August. And I'm looking forward to being a tour guide. I just passed my exam in December. I thought it was quite hard. Even right after I did my master's, I thought it was quite hard. And yeah, so that's me. Thank you.
See, Lauren, I think you talked to the group, didn't you? You're good. Let's see. You did, Alex, didn't you? Did you, Marie? Do you want to say hello?
No. Marie Scarpola. I don't know. I must have joined about a year ago. I just passed my test, and I'm looking forward to being the historic realtor. I've sold real estate in the historic district, and I always walked around and talked about history and talked about everything that happened. So now I could officially take that title. And I have done some tours around, and I'm thinking my goal is to put tours together to go look at real estate in Italy. So talk to me about that.
And I don't think I know you, do I? Oh, yes. Oh, okay. Oh, that's so nice. Free beer, yeah. You were talking to Ernest, weren't you? Well, Tish, do you want to say anything? I know you've been around forever, but you've only sort of rejoined recently. I don't mean forever, but with APT.
I was on that first committee way back when, when it was scary, when the city was telling us, you're going to do it this way. We're going like, we're not. So anyway, it's so wonderful to be a part of this group. And it's true. We are the city of brotherly love and sisterly affection, as we like to add. I frequently have guests in, and they'll say, everybody's so friendly here in Philadelphia. And I'm with Rhodes Scholars too. And every time they leave, they're going, I'm coming back. This is such a fabulous city. It's really great. And I think that, we do. And we're family, and it's so nice because we're not competitive. We love one another. We help one another out. It's like, let's do this together. And it's so exciting to be part of this. I love it. It's great. I love all of you.
Matthew, you want to say a few words?
Hi, I'm Matthew. I'm a Philadelphian, born and raised here. Went to Central High, class of 269. Woo. Went to Temple University. I've been in tourism now for 5 years. I worked double-decker buses, which was woo, yeah. um, Ernest is the person who introduced me to the organization. I don't like tests. Um, but I passed, so that's cool. Oh, stop. Very interested in being a part of the organization. You guys seem like really cool, calm, collected, which I like from gatherings of people. And I like the idea of like the committees as well. So I definitely want to kind of put my hat in a ring or two, and just contribute. I see a lot of good things for Philadelphia in the future, hopefully. Um, and I think we all could benefit from more money. So that's my perspective. I appreciate your time. And yeah, thanks for the pin. It's so dope. All right.
So are you giving tours, Matthew, with Raina's with the Black Journey?
Sorry, guys, on Zoom. Currently, I am with 1838 Black Metropolis. I work with Black Journey as well, so I know my Jewel too. Cool guy. And yeah, I'm looking to do more inclusive stuff and talk more about history because people like it. I'm a theater kid, so I just like to walk around backwards.
Very cool. Is there anyone, so these are all kind of the newer, new faces here. Is there anyone who wants to, maybe who's been here for a year or 2 years, who feels like would like to just say a few words about themselves and anything? Even Ernest is quiet tonight. You're tired, aren't you? No? Oh. You have a question? Mhm. Oh, Tish is asking if the Army Navy game is going to be in
We're going to have the
Philadelphia.
Army Navy game during the time, the celebrating Army.
Here, give him that.
Yeah, because I mean that should be here.
28. They're just arguing about where the Army Navy game, how it should be here. Preaching to the choir. Anyone else? Karis, do you want to say hello? I guess you gave your spiel about the book. Karis is a longtime member too, who hasn't been around in a while. Anyone else want to say hello or just anything? Oh, Carol, you want to say hello? Yeah, you're a newer member too.
My name's Carolyn Kersey. Am I too loud on this? Okay. My name is Carolyn Kersey, and this is my second time in 1976. My husband, we had 13 people, signers of the signatures of 13 of the signers of independence. There were like 13 of us got together and put this display on. So this is my second time around for, I get excited about 26. So, so I'm retired and I have the time. So, and I'm a brand new member. Thank you.
Well, it's just about 8:30. Any last comments? Anything, Mike? Oh, next month. Thank you. Yeah. So our meeting next month, do you know what the date is off the top of your head? It's second Wednesday, February 12th is our next meeting. And it's not going to be here. It's going to be at Christchurch Neighborhood House in the Great Hall. It's on the second floor. And, all the info will be in the newsletter. We're not officially switching to Christchurch, but they've offered for us to use their space. So we're going to go check it out, see how it goes, and then we'll get feedback from you guys, what you think. And we'll kind of see. It's kind of good to have another space available to us because sometimes this is not available. Yeah, you won't be able to, there's no food there for sale. We'll have to find out if you'll be able to bring food in. Maybe you could buy something to bring in and have there. We'll have to clarify that with them. And the speaker, do you want to say anything about the speaker, Mike? I know it's Kelly Barnes, is that her name? From Independence National Historical Park. That's all I remember though. Something about an online database. Go ahead. I don't know.
Yes, Charlene suggested the speaker, Dr. Kelly Barnes, on the Invisible Architects of Freedom Digital Archive, which is a database of primary sources related to the development of the Black American community in early Philadelphia. And she'll be speaking to us next month, February 12th. It's a Wednesday night at Christ Church, Great Hall.
Well, any other last minute announcements? Anyone who has not been to MOAR? Ernest is taking a poll if anyone here has not been to the Museum of the American Revolution. Oh, so Ernest, what do you have? 2 free passes? This was offering free passes to the Museum of the American Revolution. Anything else? All right, make sure you sign. The sign-up sheet is here. So if did not come around to you, make sure you sign it, your name is on it. And if you're new or you don't have a lanyard for some reason, I can give you a lanyard. And this table, check out the stuff here. All right, thank you guys. We'll see you next month.